This is Enzo, a 1-year-old French bulldog who's about to have surgery that could save his life. He's sedated, but not quite out for the count.
Yes, it's right by my computer, just there.
Like many flat-faced dogs, he has restricted airways and too much soft tissue at the back of his mouth, making it hard to breathe.
He's sucking in to get the air in, and his palate is probably flapping at the back of the throat.
Almost every pug or bulldog that ends up at Battersea Dogs and Cats Home here in London needs this kind of surgery to treat what's known as BOAS. Ownership of flat-faced breeds has skyrocketed in recent years, so has the number of bad breeders, who are often more concerned by exaggerated features and profit than by the dog's health. As a result, vets are seeing more and more problems like this.
There's not a lot of space between the roof of the mouth and the tongue.
Kennel clubs and governments around the world are taking action to encourage better breeding, but a mix of celebrity and social media has turned these pups into fashion must-haves. We met owners on both sides of the Atlantic, as well as the vets trying to sound the alarm.
It's perceived to be extremely cute to have a really flat face, and perhaps unfortunately people aren't really thinking about the health impact of that until it's too late, and then they end up here.
Pugs, Frenchies and Bulldogs make loving companions, but what's the true cost of our obsession with them? Enzo is a stray, brought in off the streets to this rescue centre in London. Veterinary surgeon Claire Turner cuts a piece of the bulldog's palate and then sears the wound to prevent bleeding.
Okay, so this is the palate that we've removed. So it's quite a large amount of tissue for such a small dog. You can imagine if you've got that much flesh just covering the top of the airway. Okay. Oh, little guy. So this bit will bleed, just to warn you.
She then cuts away part of Enzo's nostril to help with the flow of air. In 2015, surgeons here performed 7 operations like this. Just 5 years later, that number had risen to 77.
It just makes me quite sad how many of these we're seeing now. All of the space where the air would normally run through the nasal chambers to the back of the throat and then down is all just compressed. And added to that, a lot of these dogs also have a very narrow windpipe as well, but it's all just squashed back into the face.
Breathing problems in breeds like this are not new, but the huge jump in numbers is. The pandemic supercharged the market for puppies of all varieties. Eventually, though, new dog owners struggled to take care of their pets. And for flat-faced pups, there was an additional challenge: the long, expensive list of health problems that can add up to tens of thousands of pounds over the dog's lifetime. BOAS surgery alone can cost several thousand. After he recovers, Enzo will stay at the shelter until a new owner adopts him. But there will be plenty more Enzos. That's because generation after generation of flat-faced dogs have been bred to have exactly the kind of coloration and features that people love, even at the cost of their health. This is not the first time, of course, these breeds have gone through a transformation.
First bulldog in 42 years to win Westminster's Best in Show.
This is what an English bulldog would have looked like in the early 19th century. More like a present-day American Staffordshire Terrier, a kind of pit bull. Bulldogs were bred to be agile and strong, to compete in a bloodthirsty sport known as bull baiting.
You have a bull either tied to a stake or in some sort of enclosure, and you literally just set some dogs on it. And the bulls just tossed that bulldog up into the air. There it is, upside down.
Bull baiting was banned in 1835, and the bulldog largely disappeared from view. But when dog shows first appeared in the 1860s, breeds with distinct features came back into fashion, and the bulldog made a comeback. Breeding standards of the time called for shorter faces, squat bodies, and protruding lower jaws.
It was at that time that the bulldog really underwent the sort of most dramatic element of its physical transformation.
And prize winners were worth a fortune. In 1901, an American bought this bulldog for over £130,000 in today's money. But even back then, people noticed what breeding was doing to dogs' health.
These creatures are both exaggerated and abnormal, their forelegs and shoulders being twisted and contorted to an appalling extent. So bulldog breeders in the 1890s were concerned about short lifespans. They report dogs with skin problems and they report dogs with breathing problems.
Today, the popularity of flat-faced breeds is skyrocketing again, especially the smaller relative of the English Bulldog. Over the past decade in the UK alone, official owner registrations for French Bulldogs have gone up by over 1,000%.
30 years ago, we were registering 200 or 300 a year. Last year, we registered towards 40,000. And what's happened is that the number of breeders has grown exponentially.
But many breeders don't know or don't care that breeding unhealthy dogs passes on a lifetime of suffering to the next generation.
Whereas it's quite easy to breed dogs, it's quite complex to breed dogs well and do it responsibly. And so there has been a large increase in the number of people who've never bred before.
Recent research into the health of English Bulldogs and Pugs in the UK has found that they are considerably worse off than other breeds. The Netherlands enforced a ban on the breeding of 12 flat-faced breeds in 2019, and in 2022 Norway banned the breeding of English Bulldogs. The UK has no plans for a ban. The focus for now is on education and careful breeding to slowly improve the animal's health. In 2019, the Kennel Club launched a grading scheme for flat-faced dogs meant to make sure only healthy dogs can be bred together. In 2021, the club revised their guidelines, insisting that the French Bulldog's muzzle should be clearly viewed in profile and the dog's nostrils should be visibly open. Ethel is a 1-year-old English Bulldog who's come into this veterinary practice for an all-clear to breed. A 0 to 2 score on her respiratory test will mean she's considered healthy enough.
We thought, she's got great, bloodlines, champions in her breed, so let's see if we can carry it on.
So she is slightly overweight.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, an additional fat for her can affect her breathing. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll just take her outside and I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Vet Kasia Atmaka takes Ethel for a 3-minute walk to see how long it takes her breathing to settle down after exercise. She's snorting because of the exercise, but it's not yet a cause for concern.
Her nostrils are lovely. She doesn't have any breathing difficulties, so there is no increased effort on her breathing. Her chest sounds remain clear, so we're probably on a grade 1. So you can obviously breed her with any male of a grade 0 to 2.
Ethel will still need to be checked every year, but for now her weight is the main issue, likely to affect her breathing and mobility.
She should lose at least 2 kilograms, and that weight management can really make a difference.
The trouble is, many owners think this sound is normal for flat-faced breeds, even without exercise, when it could in fact be a sign of a respiratory problem. But it can be hard to educate breeders and the public when you're competing with a constant stream of images of flat-faced dogs and their adorable snorting.
They look kind of like babies. They've got that sort of large eyes, flat face, so there's something sort of intrinsic in us humans that finds that really cute and really appealing. But we forget that these are not babies, these are dogs.
Tilly, Natty and Missy are social media celebrities, otherwise known as the Pugdashians.
Good girl. Where's the squirrel? Who wants to eat? You want to eat? Natty. Oh, Tilly, Missy. What I look for when I'm posting is just things that make me laugh. I call them my little clowns because they're always making me laugh, and I want to share that with people. Oh, I'm all about a cute hat and a cute tutu. I mean, you can't go wrong there.
With their squashed faces, wrinkles and gentle nature, it's no wonder breeds like this are so popular. The Pugdashians are all prize winners, and Laurie makes sure they have thorough health checks before she makes a decision to breed them. Animal welfare groups have been pushing companies to stop using images of flat-faced animals in their ad campaigns or on greetings cards, But celebrities driving the trend through social media are harder to control. Missy recently had 3 puppies, Pink Girl, Yellow Girl and Blue Boy, ensuring the next generation of adorable Pugdashians. But Laurie feels she's part of the solution, not the problem.
Ready? Oh my goodness. You want to sit? The downside of seeing pugs on social media is people think that they're cute, adorable, like me when I first got my first pug, and not doing any research, and they just run out and get a pug. So, no, I don't agree with backyard breeders. I agree if you're going to breed a dog, you do make sure that that dog is breed standard. You make sure it's been fully health tested. But I know I just try to do the best I can to produce healthy pugs and to know that I am responsible for these puppies that I bring into this world. Until they take the last breath.